Back to Friar Talk. Doing a quick recording today for this Padres Dodgers NLDS. We weren't able to go live after the second Braves game, but Padres take care of business. Obviously, you have the Joe Musgrove injury, a lot going on, but the bats came to play early in that one. You get the little, I guess not a rally, but kind of, a little combination of hits in a row. Padres take the first series, and now it's time that we've all kind of been waiting for this series. I feel like it felt inevitable heading into the playoffs for both Padres and Dodgers fans, and we're looking up, and it's a repeat of 2 years ago, NLDS. The Dodgers going to have potentially 3 home games, Padres potentially 2 home games, and it's going to be exciting. So real quick before we get into like overall predictions, stuff like that, want to preview the pitching matchups. Game 1, you got Yamamoto on the Dodgers side against Cease. Game 2, Flaherty against Darvish. Game 3, I would assume that it's going to be Walker Buehler, Michael King. And then for the Padres in Game 4, because of the Joe Musgrove injury, which is the biggest kind of just most impactful thing that's happened kind of early on, just because if he seems like he's going to be done for the postseason. I know Joe Musgrove said that he doesn't think he is. He thinks he can come back. But at least for this series, it's looking like Martin Perez is going to take Game 4. They could flip that. They could have Michael King Game 4, Martin Perez Game 3, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And then you're looking at Landon Knack in Game 4 as well. And then the Padres would go back, and both those guys would be the Game 1 starters for Game 5. So Cease against Yamamoto again. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we're looking at these teams, and if we're breaking down this series, I think the biggest thing is all the stars are hot, which makes this extremely exciting. Fernando Tatis had a baller series against the Braves. Manny Machado had a big hit. Manny Machado's been super hot in the second half. On Dodger side, Shohei Ohtani has been tearing the cover off the baseball for about the last month. He's been the best player in baseball, and he is the best player in baseball. So you're looking at it like that, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're coming to this big series, the series that all MLB fans want to see, Padres, Dodgers, all the stars are hot. The pitching is not really healthy on either side, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's going to come down to one thing, and that's, do the stars get the big hits? Especially on the Dodgers side, it's going to come down to Ohtani a lot. As we've seen, their whole season's been about Ohtani. It's like bottom of the lineup's not that good. Some of these guys have struggled a little bit. They've had some injuries, but Ohtani's consistently just been the best player in baseball, put up the 50-50 season. On the Padres side, you look at it and you're going, is this complete lineup? Is Jackson Merrill going to stay clutch? Is Tatis going to have some big hits? Is Manny Machado going to come up with runners in scoring position and drive them in? Is Luis Arraez going to be just like a pest at the top of the lineup? And it's shaping out to be a very, very awesome series. I'm super pumped for this one. If you guys don't know, my roommate's a Dodger fan, so we watch all the games together, stuff like that. Obviously, we've been doing this channel for a long time. We've discussed now, this will be the third Padres Dodgers playoff series that we've discussed on the channel going back to the COVID year. But it's exciting. I think from the Padres side, the biggest thing is Game 4, you're going to go Martin Perez. And I know Landon Knack, like, he's not that great, but Martin Perez had a pretty rough outing last time. You're feeling okay with him, but you do feel a loss of Joe Musgrove a lot, especially just looking at, okay, who's going to pitch for this team? But one thing that I haven't really seen many people talk about is Yamamoto hasn't gone 5 innings since, what was it? I'm looking right here. He hasn't gone over 5 innings since June 7th. So he's pitching Game 1. He's probably pitching Game 5. Maybe Kershaw comes back. I don't really know what the deal is with him. Maybe he is your Game 5 guy, but I feel like that's a big advantage for the Padres side, because I get that the Dodgers bullpen is like solid, but the Padres have seen a lot of these arms. These are some of these arms are the same guys that they went up against, like Vesia, and like some of these arms are the same guys that they've seen in the past, and they hit some of them pretty good. So I think both teams bullpen wise are pretty solid. I saw some some discourse on Twitter basically about like the Padres bullpen not being good, but that's not the case at all. I mean, the Padres bullpen is really good. Robert Suarez has actually looked a lot better lately, which is very encouraging for the Padres side, because towards the end of the season, he was falling apart completely. He's using the changeup more. He's looking a lot better. But both these bullpens are legit, right? The Dodgers trade for Michael Kopech, he's been nice. He's been really nice since he got traded for, and he's been good out of the pen for them. You got Vesia. Who else you got on the Dodgers? You got some studs there. But I feel like for the most part, like, This game is going to come down to like, yes, it's Evan Phillips too on the Dodgers, who's really, really good. It's going to come down to, do the stars get big hits? And that's going to be the full series. If you're looking at it from the Padres side, right? I think the biggest thing is you got to take one of two or both of them. I mean, take both of them. I'd be a lot happier with that. But you got to take one of two in LA to start the series. Whether that's you come out, and I would rather see you just take game one, just start out hot, just rock Yamamoto, get him out of there quick. But and that the set like the precedence for the rest of the series, right? Like you see that, and then all of a sudden it just starts kind of rolling. We've seen that with the Padres when they get going, they get really hot, they get all this momentum, and become a really good team. They've been the best team in the second half of the baseball season. The Dodgers have not been much worse. The Dodgers have been really good too. And you're looking at now, it's like, okay, you take one of the first game twos, then you go take both of them home in San Diego. If I had to have a prediction, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think this is going to go to a 5 games. I could see anything else. Like I could see a sweep either way. Like these teams play each other so much. It's so up and down, even year to year, like series to series. But the Padres have been playing the Dodgers pretty good for the past like few years now, or a couple of years now, since the playoff series in 22. But you're looking at it and you're like, dude, if you're the Padres, you got to strike early. You got to take one of the two in LA. And luckily, your guy, Fernando Tatis, just loves hitting at Dodger Stadium. I mean, he's been ridiculous there. And right now, he's as hot as he's been in a long time. Like he just got on base, 4 times was it the game before, had a home run in the first inning that he demolished where he slipped on it, basically, on his swing. And it's going to come down to the stars being stars. Guess what, Padre fans? Tony's going to have some big hits. We're gonna see that, but you want to limit him as much as possible. You want to really pitch around him. We've seen Mookie Betts in the playoffs. For whatever reason, he seems to struggle a lot, especially since he's been in a Dodger uniform. Freddie Freeman, I feel like Freddie Freeman, like people rip him, but I feel like Freddie Freeman's still a scary guy in the lineup, even in the playoffs. Even though he hasn't had as much success as he used to in Atlanta. But for whatever reason, Mookie has not been that great in the playoffs. The Dodgers lineup, like we got Will Smith, you got some guys, right? You got Teoscar Hernandez, like you got guys, but you get to the bottom of the lineup and it's not that great. That's the big difference with the Padres and the Dodgers, and why I think the Padres have, they won the season series against the Dodgers, and they've played them a lot better this year than in past years, is because they have a more, without Musgrove, it's hard to say, but they have a more complete pitching staff, and their lineup top to bottom is a lot better. Like that's what's made the Padres so scary, is that the lineup top to bottom, anyone can hit. You can get a rally going in any spot. Look at the last playoff series. Look at the wild card round. Kyle Higashioka, 2 home runs, home run in each game. Massive momentum swings for both of those ones. So we've seen a lot of this where it doesn't matter where you're at in the Padres lineup. They can strike at any time, where it feels like for the Dodgers lineup this year, and at least this is what I've watched some Dodger games, but this is from a lot of my friends that are Dodger fans. It's like you get to the bottom of the lineup, you get to certain guys, and it just feels like they're going to get left on base, which kind of sounds really familiar to the Padres team last year, where that top of the lineup is so good. But if those guys don't bring everyone in, if they just get on base, they're going to get left there. And that's been the issue for the Dodgers. So I think we're heading into a playoff series where this one's going to be awesome. I'm pumped. If the Padres are able to move on, I'm going to the NLCS, which will be amazing. But it's going to be a sweet series. And I think if you're the Padres, I think it's going to go 5 games. I really do. But if you're the Padres, you want to strike early. You want to win game 1. Like if you win game 1, all of a sudden you feel so much more confident about their chances. And like, of course, that's kind of a given. But just with the way that this team rides with momentum, it seems like it's such a bigger deal with this squad, where it's just like, okay, we're just going to keep piling it on. And that's kind of how they've played this whole second half, where you look at them and they're down in games, they're wherever they are, all of a sudden that switches, and then they're hot and they're balling out. And the Padres team right now, you saw it get a little bit lost in the second game in the Atlanta series when Musgrove went down. Like the energy kind of dropped for a little bit, but for the most part, they have just been on fire for the second half of the season. And they've probably had maybe the best stretch I've ever seen this franchise have, ever seen this team have growing up. So this is a year. This is a year for the Padres, and you need to go take care of business. You need to move on. You need to go play the Phillies or the Mets. And you need to win this game, and you need to take care of the series early. That's what I think. I think either way, it'll be 4 or 5 games. I don't think you'll really see a sweep. Like I said, you could see it. That's whatever, but these teams are too good. There's too much star power on either side. So I'm pumped, man. I'm super excited. And my final prediction, I'm gonna say Padres in 4. Actually, no, I'm gonna say Padres in 5, just because you got a little pitching matchup question marks there. But it's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be a really good one. Let me know whatever you guys are thinking. What are kind of Padres and Dodgers fans? What are the keys to victory for both of your teams? I think I said it like with the Stars. I think it's really gonna come down to that. But dude, it's gonna be exciting stuff. We got playoff baseball last night. We had the Mets Brewers game where the Mets 2 outs away from being eliminated. Pete Alonso takes a changeup the other way, 3-2. They end up winning the game 4-2. Ridiculous stuff. So these playoffs have already been awesome to start, but I'm looking forward to it. I think we're gonna have a really good series here. It's gonna be competitive. These teams they don't like each other. The fans, they like you got everyone talks shit all the time. So I'm pumped for it, and I'm looking forward to an awesome series. Isaac's gonna be going live after game 1. I'll be going live after game 2. We're gonna try to do it. We don't really have the schedule, so sometimes it's just gonna be solo for us, but we want to keep talking Padres baseball. So we will have live streams after both game 1 and game 2. Probably the whole series. I would expect that. But thank you all for listening. Go Padres. I got Padres in 5. Let me know what you got in the comments. See ya.